Ezra speaking. Oh, adventures with his family he's seeking. Reporting weather, telling stories wherever he goes. It's the Ezra Speaking Show. Yay!
Hello, Ezra Speaking here. Today I'm so excited to introduce to the Ezra Speaking Show Rachael Stainko as your 2024 Mrs. Indiana America. Her husband, Andrew, and she lives in Lafayette, Indiana with their two children, Leslie and little Andrew. She began baton twirling at the age of 4 and has won lots of national prizes. She even has been in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics. She also hosts Motherhood Monday on Instagram. Welcome to the Ezra Speaking Show today, the 2024 Mrs. Indiana, Mrs. Rachael Stainko. Please come on. Welcome to this Ezra Speaking stage today. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So today, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Rachael Stainko. I'm Mrs. Indiana 2024. And like you said, my husband and I, we live here in Lafayette, and we have 2 toddlers.
You recently competed and won the Mrs. Indiana pageant. Congratulations. What is next?
So next, I will be competing for Mrs. America. I leave in about 3 months towards the end of August, and that's in Las Vegas, and it's about a 10-day-long competition.
Wow. Is there a Mrs. World?
Yes, there actually is. So whoever wins Mrs. America then goes on to Mrs. World.
Is that continent-wise or?
Yes, it is. So there's a Mrs. America, a Mrs. Canada. There's women from all across the world, literally. So almost every country is represented. There's a Mrs. Ireland, Mrs. China, all the countries, yeah.
Why did you compete in the Mrs. America pageant?
So I actually started competing in pageants way back when I was a Purdue student. My dad lost his job, and I found out about this Miss America organization, and you could earn scholarship money. So I utilized my talent of baton twirling to earn scholarship money through the pageant system to pay my way for undergrad and graduate school. I then aged out of the pageant system and thought my pageant days were over, and my husband and I, we got married, had children. And then I had a friend reach out to me about the Mrs. America system, and I just felt like it really aligned perfectly with my mission in life because their motto is "We are family." And as a mom and a wife right now, like that's very much my season of life I'm in right now with 2 young toddlers, but more so it gave me a platform to do something more than just being a mom and being a wife, because so often when you get married, you lose that part of yourself, and I want women to know that, you know, the woman that you were before and those goals and dreams you have, they still exist, and you go through different seasons of that time where you give up and you sacrifice, but it's still good for you to pursue those dreams, because my children right now see me working for those goals, and if they don't see me working for goals, they're not going to learn how to do that themselves.
I'm going to ask you a few more questions here. What is your proudest accomplishment?
Aside from my 2 children, I would say my proudest accomplishment is the work that I've done with my initiative Strong as a Mother. I have been doing that for about a year now, and hearing the stories of other women and their families and the impact that I've been able to have on them is truly inspiring, and something that I didn't know that I'd be doing. It's just amazing to see how God opens new doors and new opportunities in your life.
Is there a talent portion of the pageant? If so, what is your talent?
So there is not in the Mrs. America system. There's no talent. The phases of competition are a private interview. So you meet with a panel of judges, but it's one-on-one, very much like this, and it's a timed interview. And then on stage, you have the physical fitness, which is swimsuit and a one-piece, and then you have the evening gown and on-stage question. At National, so at Mrs. America in Vegas, there's also a state costume where you represent your state however you want, and I will say that there will be a little bit of Purdue represented, and I may not be utilizing my talent to do that, and my talent is baton twirling. Oh yeah, look at that.
Is this like the video?
Yep, that's like my Miss Congeniality moment, twirling fire. It's actually really fun to do, and it keeps me warm because that parade was really cold.
It was.
Yeah. It was freezing. So I actually ended up sweating at the end of that parade just from twirling all the fire. Because that's like, I mean, people ask me how I do it, and I soak the batons in gasoline and then just line them up, and that's how you do it.
We have a special gift for you.
Aw.
Special gift just for you.
Yay.
It's an Ezra Speaking weather
I
journal.
love it. Thank you.
Look on the back.
That's so cool. Thank you. I love journals. I'm going to use this as my prep notebook for Mrs. America. This is cool. I'll take it with me to Vegas.
The Mrs. America pageant is the longest standing beauty pageant for married women. Originally established in 1938, Mrs. America was created to honor married women throughout the United States. Contestants representing all 50 states compete in the national Mrs. America pageant after winning their state's title. The modernized Mrs. America pageant remains true to its past traditions, but now seeks to recognize somewhat called America's greatest natural resource, the contemporary married woman. Thank you so much, Mrs. Indiana America, Rachael Stainko. We will all be rooting for you August 28th when you compete in the Mrs. America pageant in Las Vegas. But no matter what,